Hey guys, hey traders, welcome back to the fxcitadel channel. I know it's been a while, I'm really excited, so let's get right into it. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Lots of exciting stuff ahead. Alright, so now because it's Thursday, we're going to start by looking at the outlook that was prepared on Sunday for this week, and then we're going to look at what price action looked like as of this morning, right? And hopefully that can help us draw a contrast and basically stay in flow with the market. Right, so looking at the weekly time frame, which is something I like to do on Mondays, just to get kind of like an overview of what we might expect from the week. The most recent thing that we can see on the weekly time frame is this pullback, right? But before that, we saw this run up and then we saw a break of swing structure on the weekly time frame. Right, for a while we were in a pullback phase as indicated by this weekly internal bullish structure, right? Now I apologize because I actually forgot to add a Fibonacci here, a custom Fibonacci. But if we do that, we're going to realize that price managed to get into the premium area, which is a very ideal area for possible reversals, right? And so after price tapped into this weekly supply zone, we saw a change of character. Now here's a really nice tip for you, right? A run on a higher time frame is usually a trend on the lower time frame. Let me say that again. A run on the lower time frame, sorry, on a higher time frame is usually a trend on a lower time frame, right? So it's very likely that this weekly change of character might possibly be a break of daily swing structure, right? So if we're considering this leg of price action, we can see we're literally pulling back into potential weekly supply zones for a potential continuation, right? Okay, so let's scale down and take a look at the daily time frame and see what we find. Right, so looking at the daily time frame, this is the beautiful thing about the market. It is fractal, and that makes the science of market multi-time frame analysis possible. Sorry, I don't know what's going on. Just hold on. All right, so we can see that we tapped into this weekly supply zone as we saw from the previous chart example, the previous chart screenshot, if you will, right? So as I told you, the weekly change of character actually happens to be a daily break of swing structure, right? And for a while, like we said, we've been in a pullback, right? The daily internal structure has been bullish. Now we've tapped into a daily. I don't quite understand what's going on. Just give me a second, please. All right. Yeah, I think this is much better. Okay. Oh wow. Oh, I see. I'm so sorry for the mess, guys, but we just have to continue. So we see that the daily internal structure has been bullish all this while. It's very possible that we might get a reaction from this zone or this zone, but it's also very sorry. I can't do this. We just yeah. Sorry for the delay. Okay, great. So we've tapped into this daily supply zone, right? And there are potential areas where price could tap into and potentially go higher, right? Because in as much as we've tapped into an area of interest, we also have to remember that the expectation is for order flow to stay bullish until it is no longer bullish. And that is when we have enough evidence that price has switched bearish, right? But it's also important to note that this is a fair value gap and there's every possibility that price might tap into this and just continue higher, right? So let's just go down to the lower time frame and see what we have. Okay, so on the 4 hour time frame, we can, it's coming. Right, so on the 4 hour time frame, we can take a look at what we have here. Took the liberty of preparing some side notes. Liquidation of strong low and immediate change of character means I'm satisfied to look for longs. Potentially, we could see a run of 4 hour weak swing high. So here's what I mean. First of all, let's address the fact that this is a weak swing high, right? The reason it's a weak swing high is because it hasn't done the job of breaking structure. This, on the other hand, is a strong swing low. The reason being that it broke swing structure to the upside, right? So the expectation is that this is protected. There's money being protected here. So even if price comes all the way down to mitigate this zone, we still expect price to then go for this weak swing structure. That in essence is how market structure works, right? So that is what guides us. Now, if we remember correctly, we marked out a fair value gap here, and I'm happy to look for longs because after price taps into this fair value gap, we can see this liquidation of a strong low and an immediate change of character, right? So we could potentially look for plays such as price coming back in here and looking to take this high, right? But we also are going to be mindful of the fact that we're in a daily point of interest, right? So we might just see a sweep and maybe a potential move downwards. So don't swing for the fences. You at the end of the day are taking a counter trend trade if you look at a high enough time frame, right? If you zoom out enough, right? So that's about that for the weekly outlook that was published on Sunday, was it? Yeah, Sunday. And if you want to see more outlooks like this, feel free to join the free analysis and markup Telegram channel. The link will be in the description below. Let's move on. Okay, so this is the chart from this morning, being Thursday, the 22nd of November 2023. And we're going to look at this chart in contrast to the outlook for this week and see how far we've come. Okay, so from the weekly outlook we just looked at, we talked about the potential for price to take this high after we saw the sweep of liquidity and the tap into this fair value gap here. Let me just do this real quick. Sorry, it's taking so long. Right, so we saw it tap into this fair value gap and we saw a change of character on the lower time frame, and now we've seen this move up. Okay, so at the moment we've seen a potential sweep, liquidity sweep above this high here, right? Now the reason it's potential is because to me it hasn't been confirmed that it's a sweep yet. We might still see price eventually close above this high and aim to go higher, possibly into this premium zone here, right? But once there's a confirmation of liquidation, this is potentially a very strong sign that we could be looking to continue the daily bearish order flow, right? Possibly for the rest of the year. We don't know, right? But yeah, we did see this high taken. Okay, so let's just quickly look at the 4 hour time frame. Okay, so looking at the 4 hour time frame here. Okay. Okay, so looking at the 4 hour time frame, I don't consider this a break of swing structure. You might, and that's entirely fine, but I have a near purely mechanical system for mapping structure and for most things that I do anyway. And according to that system, for me, this is a 4 hour internal structure at best, or daily internal structure to be more precise, right? Okay, actually, 4 hour internal structure. Sorry. Yeah. So we have a couple of POIs here. We have this and we have this. Now, for me, this POI here is more high probability. We're more likely to see a reaction that might sustain and possibly even take this high from this zone. Now, there are a couple of factors and a couple of reasons I look at when I'm picking high probability POIs and differentiating them from low probability POIs. I'm going to give you a couple of them here. For one reason is this is in the discount zone. That's pretty straightforward, right? Another reason is that it's swept liquidity before this zone was created. It's also a very strong zone because it caused the break of a very important high, in my opinion, right? Now, in this case, I wouldn't exactly say that this is a low probability POI, simply because it overlaps with this fair value gap on the daily time frame. But what we could see might, in fact, because we're talking about this in retrospect, what we did see was that price reacted off of this, and this happened, but we may still see an important reaction from here, possibly even go higher, or decide to come for these zones within the discount zone of this larger 4 hour range, right? So that's about that for the 4 hour time frame. We scale down to the 1 hour time frame. So I recently switched over to the 1 hour time frame. I used to use the 15 minutes. For me, it's been a revelation to say the least. Okay, so now if we're looking at it from a purely mechanical point of view, as far as my system goes, now this shouldn't exactly be a 1 hour swing break of structure, right? It shouldn't be a break of 1 hour swing structure. However, I believe as a trader, you ought to be a critical thinker. So there are a couple of reasons why I decided in this case to, call this a 1 hour break of swing structure, right? As my people say, if it boy yakoyaza, right? If it boy chigi right? That means that the market is subjective in terms of what your interpretation of it is, but it's also advisable from personal experience to make as many parts of your system as mechanical as possible, right? Okay, so we're looking at this range of price action, right? We're looking at what might happen here. But if we look at if we get into the nitty gritty, we can see that prices change character here at this point. We might see another change of character, which usually for me confirms the potential start of a pullback. That is another secret. I hope you caught that. And there are a couple of models I use to confirm pullbacks, just so I'm not, just so I don't get wrecked, like going against price too early or going against overall order flow too early. But yeah, so what we did in fact see was that price did change character. We saw a pullback and we entered this zone. We saw a reaction. I think we saw liquidity, and then we're going down. I'm not sure where we're at right now, whether it's here or here, but yeah, essentially that is what we saw for today. So it's safe to say that our weekly outlook was in fact correct and very insightful. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please click the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, join the Telegram group if you want to get more of these. It's free, daily as well. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a nice one. Bye.